Hi, hello everybody. Welcome to our channel. I'm Emma Milanathi and I'm joined today by Tanvir Anwar, who is the holistic home healer. And this is part 3 of our absolutely fascinating deep dive into exploring the world of house healing, which I find absolutely fascinating as a modality. And I'm learning so much from our conversations. So, yes, over to you, Tanvir, for a quick introduction.
Yeah, thank you, Ima. I am a holistic home healer and also Reiki practitioner. So, last two sessions we have talked about what is house healing, what to expect, how much a general house healer charges, these sort of things. So, yeah, we can carry on from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Okay, so the next question I would like to dying to find out about is what exactly to expect during a house healing session. So, say for example, I had booked a house healing session with you, Tanvir, um, and the day comes for the session to take place. How would that go typically?
Okay. So, to me, generally, what's happened when a person books a consultation, so I send a form that what he or she needs to be filled up. So it is more like what's problem or why they book the session for. So generally, their clients note down their issues or they want something from a house healers that needed to be healed for them. So that form needed to be filled up. Then that client also need to send us the layout of the home and the direction as well. So it depends. Sometimes clients feel to visit their home as well. So generally nowadays we do it remotely. But if it is absolutely required to go to their home, then we need to visit their home and then figure it out that what's the actual status of that particular home at that very moment.
Yeah.
So then we also ask that particular person to give their birth date and the location when they born, where they born. So it will also help us to figure out the astrological aspect that whether that particular scenario is also resonating inside the birth chart or not.
Mhm.
So it is my personal preference to go as a holistic approach. The generally when clients send us those information, what I go through, I try to figure it out that problem whether it requires any kind of house healing or not, or we just need a consultation. So based on that, I reply to that client that okay, we don't need those sort of things and we can only go for the consultation. But if I figured out that okay, we need to go for a deep down type of things, then based on my findings I communicate with that particular client that these things needed to be done and what the client expectations should be from us. So I note it down and send it to our client if they gave their consent, and then we proceed for the actual stuff to go through. So before that, personally, I don't do any kind of healing. So I just go through a rough glimpse that whether that client is suitable for me or not, whether I can help him or her or not. So that's my initial findings. So when we get the consent form, we arrange a Zoom meeting for 1 hour. Sometimes it's a little bit longer as well, depending on uh, what we need to discuss or all those things. Then
Mhm.
I try to do the dowsing, figure it out that whether there are any kind of detrimental energies which that particular person is saying and that matches. Then I figure it out that as per the Vastu, whether there are any kind of imbalance of that house, what we needed to be addressed. And based on that, we prepare a solution which needed to be implemented by the client, because it is not that very difficult thing. Sometimes it's just like putting a color or changing the color of a wall. So this sort of things happens. That is the thing what a client can expect. And the thing is, we also take a consent about the client that he or she might face some kind of emotional imbalance or kind of the grief which you have mentioned. So those sort of things might pop up because we're clearing the old stuff. The baggage is not here anymore. So
yes, change is always painful, even if it's
right.
positive change, isn't it? It's always difficult. Yeah.
Right. And we also ask the client to wait for at least 21 days to get to get. I mean, the thing is, generally positive things start earlier, from the very earliest stage, implemented those kind of remedies for that particular client. But we ask client to wait for at least 21 days to get a good result. So
Things have to settle, don't they?
Yeah.
And that they can be kind of ripples and, kind of knock-on consequences, and kind of everything just has to readjust and settle down.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, I have another question. So when you have that Zoom with the client, is it important for them to be at the property that you're going to be looking at, or can it be anywhere? I mean, do you sort of tune into the energy through the Zoom, or is that something you do offline completely, or how does that work?
I personally don't require those sort of things. Zoom meeting is just only for talking with the client to
Okay.
get the perception, what's their expectations, and what they're having going through. If I get any intuitive feedback from the divine that I need to know, or get a vibe that probably I'm not the right person, then I just communicate it through the meeting. But it is not required that a particular person needed to be at that properties or not, because through Zoom call, personally, I don't try to figure it out energies through the Zoom call. So I try to figure it out when the client give us the consent and everything is settled, that okay, we will proceed on. Then when try to douse and figure it out whether there are any kind of detrimental energies or not, then we connect with the energies after having some protections.
That makes sense.
Definitely, yep.
Thank you. And another one, another question. Do you ever heal a person who's living in the home at the same time as the healing the home? I mean, specifically, because obviously if you're healing their home, they will be receiving some kind of healing through that as well, as a kind of knock-on effect. But do you ever specifically give healing to a person during that process, or as an add-on? Or
So generally, it's a very common practice for us to check the aura or check the balance. As sometimes that particular person's is energetically is not balanced. So even if we balance the home's energy, if the particular person is not balanced, he or she will not perceive those kind of changes positively. So what my main purpose is to empower that particular person to take in charge, take the control. So if that person change their perception, if they start to believe on those particular stuff that he or she needs to follow, like meditations, like aligning with the energies, then it is not required to go to any kind of energy healer, I think, because he or she can define that, okay, this sort of things, I know that there are some energetical block over there, I can clean it. So he or she can do it by herself. So my target is to make that particular client empowered. So it's not like, okay, I got that client and I want to make her recurring client. So it's not.
No. I mean, what I meant, I think, is more along the lines of so it's like a two-way street with
Mm.
human and the house, isn't it? They both affect each other's energy. So
Right.
it's like that as well when I'm carrying out animal reiki, for example. The human and their companion animal. The companion animal may be receiving reiki, but if the human's feeling stressed and they kind of bounce off each other, really. So
Right.
quite often, starting off by giving some reiki to the human is the first step, and we're advised that that's a good thing to do, because if they're feeling more calm and centered, that alerts the animal that they can be, and they decompress, and then will open. Then is there sort of that sort of thing there
Yeah,
with the home.
I got your point. So that happens like when we heal the home, heal the space. After within 21 days, something also started to change inside that particular person. They're trying to get balanced or attuned with the positive energies which we have worked on to clear out the detrimental energies and put the auspicious energies for that particular person over certain directions. So when that thing is done within 21 days, that particular person starts to feel, changes. But to us, it is also need to check that particular or person's aura and energies state, how it is. So we also need to clean that thing, because even if we treat a home and the energy state of that person is not balanced in a good way, then he or she will not perceive those positive energies what they should. So
And
yeah,
presumably they can also have a detrimental effect on the energy in the home as well if they are unbalanced. And
the thing is, most of the time, from my experience, I can say that once the healing is stuff done for the particular type of problem, that client came back to us for other type of things after certain time, because that thing is sorted. Now they figure it out that, okay, I need to work on that particular thing which I needed to be clear. But to us, what it was told that don't mess up with other thing which is already balanced. So unless the client asked you, that thing is happening with them. Because if we're trying, if we see that in the floor plan that certain thing is not in the right shape, right position, we consult with that client that whether they're having certain kind of problems regarding that reactions which we needed to be treated. So if we don't get any kind of feedback, we generally avoid to touch that direction. But after such time, what I have told you, so when certain type of energy is balanced, then what's happened, that particular person's energy also shift to a certain dimension, and they started to feel, okay, I need to make change on something else which is now stuck. So that's why I always try to focus on that particular person to empower themselves along with healing the home, so that that particular person can sense, okay, now I'm feeling that sort of things. Should I take care of that thing by myself, or we need to consult with someone else? If it's a major thing, then definitely it's a good idea to consult with some professional. But most of the time, if they're attuned, they can feel, okay, there are some blocks. I can sense that I can clear it out. Definitely, they can work on that.
fantastic. So, Tanvir, it sounds like you're giving a 360-degree kind of service there.
Yeah,
Yeah, empowering
yeah.
people.
That's why I need the holistic approach.
That's brilliant.
As I have told you, my approach is holistic. It's not on a particular type of things. It's only Vastu or only house healing or only consultation. I try to figure it out full perspective, that how I can help the person rather than what's happening to their home or something like that. So
Yeah.
I need to articulate all those things properly.
Excellent. Oh, so I have another question, if that's okay. How often should a person get a house healing session?
It's also related to our previous question. So, as I have told you that if a person is empowered, take the control about what's going on over there in the energy form, so he or she can remove those type of blocks by themselves. So they don't need to consult very often. But if they're not that much attuned and they're having some kind of issues, then definitely it's a good idea to consult with a professional. But how often? So it depends on whether that particular person is having any issues or not. So if a person is having issues, only then it's better to go for a treatment. Because if you think that, okay, 6 months gone, now I have a date and I need to consult with uh, that particular house healer to clean, that will, I think personally, that will not make much more sense because everything is balanced. So what you can expect more if he or she, that practitioner, takes some initiative to make some changes, which makes the environment less harmonious. So it will affect detrimentally. So if the energy is balanced, if person doesn't feel that we don't need any kind of changes right now, it's okay to being with the current state, not to make any major shift. But what happens, there is certain kind of aspect is called Vastu. So that means astrological aspect on Vastu. So sometimes it's happened, their major time frame is changing. So it's like Saturn has kind of certain kind of time frame, so 19 years suppose, and it is ending, and some Mars is going to start. So if that particular practitioner asked you, okay, consult at that particular time to make certain kind of balance to fix, because sometimes what we need to do, we need to make changes as per the astrological aspect of that particular person, what they're having, and we need to adjust accordingly when certain kind of major energy time frame is shifting in the astrological aspect. So at that very moment, generally, that particular practitioner suggests that, okay, consult with me on that particular date, because around that time frame, your major planet will shift to one house to another house, or these sort of things. So apart from that, I don't think people need to uh, go to any kind of house healer in a frequent basis. But uh, as I have told you, I always suggest to empower our clients, and they need to clear their home very frequently. Even if it's weekly, it might be very auspicious for them, because we are human being. We have some emotions. So we have negative emotions, positive emotions. So sometimes when we form the negative emotions, that remains in our home. So if we don't clear that thing very frequently, what happens when those type of energies is stuffed, then after a certain time, it will uh, have some detrimental impact on that particular person or the other person who are in the home. So it's better to clear the home by themselves if they're empowering with their abilities.
Okay, thank you, Tanvir. So it's not like having a car. You don't have to book it. You don't have to book in for a tune-up every year or so to make sure that your house is still okay.
Yeah, unless the car is trying to, it started to do something very naughty.
Yes, but knowing what humans are like, and the want to just, oh, it'll be all right. No, no. Some people and are less likely to want to do it themselves or less inclined to do things for themselves, would you recommend that for people who don't really want to do the clearing themselves and to be empowered, who would rather get somebody in to do that? Is there a kind of a time frame?
So the thing is, I I only ask a client to revisit me if they're having the same problem exist even after the remedy implemented, and if they're having any new problem. So I generally don't ask them to come to me to clear the home energies. Rather than I try to motivate them to gain back the control. So for their self-development, come to me. It's completely okay. You learn how to clear your space. You learn how to adapt the well-being by yourself. It will not only help to clear their energies surrounding them, but it also help them to be empowered. So I ask client to come back to me for those type of consultation rather than the full, housing package, because it is also expensive, time exhausted type of thing. So that's not making much sense because it's already balanced.
Yeah.
But to be empowered, I'm always open.
Oh, that's fantastic.
You're welcome.
Excellent. Thank you. Yes. So, last question really now. So how can a person find a reliable and experienced house healer, Tanvir? Are there any regulators or professional organisations, anywhere in particular that they should go?
Till now, no, because this is a kind of energy healing stuff which is adopted by very less people. It is not as common as Reiki or some other energy practices, because only certain kind of people are adopting these sort of things which might change their current living state, because it is first of all, it is little bit expensive, so not that much people can afford all those things. So that's why at the present time in UK, I don't know, but there are some organization bodies which are formed through a different kind of networks, like house healing networks. I'm a member of Nitro's house healing networks. So that network's formed by my mentor Tim Walter and the author of the book which I have showed you, Adrian Weber. He is also a member of that house healing group. So yeah, there are some bodies of like that. But if you are asking about whether there are government accreditation or such type of things, so far I am not quite sure that whether there is not, but I think there is not any kind of bodies, but there are certain kind of groups of house healer, which I yeah.
Fantastic. So if somebody wanted to book a house healer and to benefit from those services, they could visit the website for those groups, could they?
Generally, what I suggest to other person, it's a quite sensitive stuff. So generally, most of our clients come to us through the reference.
Okay. So it's kind of word of mouth, is it?
Yeah, word of mouth. So I will suggest someone, if they're interested in house healing, find out in your community who already have gone through those sort of house healing stuff earlier and have had a good experience. If not, then I will suggest my mentor Tim Walter, Adrian Weber, which I have told you. I will put those links in our description box, and I'm also open for that. So if you're interested, then you can also contact with me as well.
Yes. Oh, fantastic. So Tanvir, thinking about what you've said, just one last mini question. Do you do house healing? Is distance an issue for you? Because it sounds like you do a lot of work with people kind of remotely. So if somebody from a different country wanted to book you to work with them with their house, would you be willing to take people on like that kind of distance work?
Yeah, right now we are quite open because the COVID uh, opened many doors for us. So so previously it was always physical. Right now, when we see that okay, we can also do it remotely and we are getting result. So
Mhm.
the world is right now very small. So,
Mhm.
so,
Oh, that's fantastic. So,
so right
any,
now, pardon?
so you carry on.
Yeah, so I was saying that most of my clients base is from Bangladesh, so from my home country. So it's like though I am right now staying in the UK, but I'm getting clients from the Bangladesh, and most of my teachers are out from the my close circuit. So the Team Walter, he's in the UK, but he not reside very nearby. So everything was communication was happening through the Zoom. And my Vastu teacher, he also lives in India. So, so the network is just quite open right now. And the thing
Fantastic.
is, sometimes people think that probably we need to be physically there, but it is not quite true because it is whatever a person is experiencing, whatever a person is, having any kind of issues, we can treat it, we can give the solution after analyzing all those charts, after talking with that particular person. So time and zone barrier is not a very big deal right now, I think.
That's so fantastic. So anybody who's watching this, who's interested and who wants to talk to you and hire you as a home healer, they can do that no matter where they are in the world.
Yeah, they can they can go to our website and book a consultation over there. So yeah.
Mhm. At holistichomehealer.com. Fantastic.
Right.
Brilliant. So thank you, Tanvir. We've come to the end of this session. So big thank yous for your sharing your fascinating work and insight and knowledge. And it's just been so interesting and enlightening. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you, Ima, for giving me the opportunity to express what I need to say about house healing. So definitely, it's also a very good opportunity for me because that domain is not quite popular yet for general people, but yet very effective. So
Yeah,
definitely, it will
absolutely. I'm sure.
help.
So
Yeah.
I was just going to say, I'm sure you're going to be very, very busy very soon. Yeah. Okay. So big thank yous to everybody who's watching this, and I hope you found it as enlightening and fascinating as I have. And please do like, comment, subscribe, leave any questions in the comment section, and we will do our best to answer them in a future section. And all that remains is for me to say big thank yous and see you again next time.
Yeah. Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Bye bye.